Robert
Oh,
from
nice.
Covert Instruments has joined us in the.
Hello.
What's up? How
There
we
you
doing?
are.
Hey,
It looks like Tony in the background there.
My consigliere back here. This is like
I was like, who's
g'day, lads.
he's my trusted advisor.
Nice, nice.
I stop him from saying things he shouldn't.
Exactly.
Just put your hand over his
Doesn't always work as planned.
Yeah, good to see you again, mate.
Likewise. How was everybody today?
Yeah, Robert had something to tell us, I guess, too. So we got quite a few things to talk about today.
Yeah, I was just kind of I saw that you guys were on. I happened to just get on Facebook and I saw the live and I was like, oh, let me do a drive-by. While I got the council here, I know you guys were doing something for Parky. He did have a YouTube channel. We can do a posthumous creator award that we can give to his wife.
Oh, that'd be sweet.
That might be something that might ultimately turn into something pretty special for her.
Yeah,
yeah,
sure.
because his son wants to take up his father's Locksport journey.
Yeah,
And he definitely impacted a lot of people.
While I'm here, I got about another 5 to 10 minutes. I can do a short Q&A if anybody has any questions.
yeah. If you guys got questions, pop them in the chat, and I will put them up here. Zeph asked if you could possibly give out some maybe vouchers as a giveaway, so that I could give something. What did you say? Some type of vouchers for stuff that hasn't come out yet. That once it comes out, they could win it. I guess afterwards or something. Basically, they just want to win something.
So why don't you guys take a poll of what you think would have the most impact, and then we can see about making that happen. I don't see that being a problem at all.
There you go, Zeph. All right, let's see what else. People are very very thankful for the Parky thing. Very cool.
Absolutely, man.
Question from the chat from Tequila Dave.
I can't see the
Does
chat.
CI have any plans for UK or European distributors? The distributor question again for OC.
Okay.
So yes, I am actively looking at the option of distributorships. There are tactical reasons why I have not done it up until this point. But I, at the very least, want to go into Europe. Tequila Dave, I've been dying to do it. It's a question of, if I do a distributorship, it will not be with an existing company. I will have a completely new entity out there. Only because I don't ever want people to search for our tools and then get linked somehow to other people's stuff. It's just It's just not smart business.
Yeah.
But I do realize that, with shipping and taxes, it's very cost prohibitive to get our tools overseas. And I want to try to alleviate that. So it's definitely happening. I just need to evaluate the correct venue. I still have to narrow down which country it's going to be. At first, I thought it was going to be the UK. Now I'm thinking it has to be more possibly Germany, or I'm not sure. I'm still investigating. We're also going to be doing something in Australia to take care of that area of the world as well.
So I myself have hand issues as well, and find that smaller pick handles can really be problematic. So I like fatter and longer ones, just because it's much easier to control and not drop, that kind of thing, in comfort.
Right.
So I designed these and printed them because I like fatter and longer ones, just so it's easier to control. And your Apex look pretty awesome, but they also do look somewhat thin.
So on the right, you got Jimmy Long's. On the left, you have ours.
Yep.
I like the way, well, I'm partial, but ours are definitely more tactile. But if you're looking for an overall thicker experience, we're not as girthy. I'm sorry to say.
I was just wondering if it's possible to offer just the metal of the picks,
Hey, Carson,
so that people can do their own handles.
Yeah, so we can do something like that for you.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Cool.
And Marcin, one thing I want to say is I understand why Jimmy's would be so hard to make a bigger handle for. It's an oblong shape. It's not standard. If you look at ours, even though it has a cutout in it, this thickness and this thickness are the same. The only difference is there are some ribs up here. And if you were to 3D print a design of your handle you already have to accommodate the thickest point back here and the thickest up here, you could actually put a groove at the very end that would accept one of these ribs we have. And our pick could go slide in and actually click into your handle and stay there.
Oh.
Ah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I just saw a Lock Kraken's comment.
He paid $5 to threaten.
Yeah. This is funny. So yes, you're absolutely right. So there is a very short exclusive list of people that are on my do not kill list. And while I drink from the skulls of most of my enemies, most of which are bird shaped or something of the sort. He's on the do not kill list, and if ever I can help him, I do. So.
Keith O'Reilly wants to know: are there 0.015 picks, the 15,000 site?
Eventually,
okay.
Eventually. My problem is people bend the fuck out of 20,000. So
yeah.
if I give him 15,000, and I've even made some feeler picks with 10,000, and oh man, yeah.
I will say 15,000 isn't needed as often as people think.
Yeah.
I picked a lot of stuff with 25.
Me too.
I find 18 to 20 is the sweet spot.
Yep.
Zeph had asked about the Flipper Zero. It's funny you asked about that. We had wanted to get into the electronics game for a long time. We had inked a couple of agreements with several companies. One of them was the iCopy XS, and we were going to have a North American exclusive with that product. I'm glad we didn't. I was also in talks with Flipper Zero, and that was right around when, I don't know if you guys remember, but like there was an inbound shipment of Flipper Zeros, like a whole truckload of them got seized. And I was like, oh shit, maybe I shouldn't do that, because that was like a multi-million-dollar problem for them. And ultimately it got released, but I was like,
yeah, you don't want that hold up
into it and we lost it. So yeah, I am working on it. We're working on our own tools all the time. The problem with electronic stuff is the skill barrier for technical support is a lot higher. And, we talk people through all the time, on how to use these tools. But like, if they can't figure out how Alicia works, I don't really think I can trust them to troubleshoot. Like, it would just be, I would need to have an entire team set up to get into that electronics game. And I ultimately do have designs to do that. It's just time, place, and manner, I guess.
Right. We've got any tips for the replicant set? I tried it once, but didn't do an air vent. Anything I should try different next time?
So it definitely, it depends on the keys that you're using, that you're trying to copy. Some of them are easier than others. Some of them are surprisingly almost impossible to do. So an example of a key that you wouldn't think is that complex, that is next to impossible, is the Schlage Everest. You can do a Primus, but you can't do an Everest because of the way the cuts are on there. As far as tips to make it work, I find that, trying to achieve a nice even press with it, I routinely do mine without the air vent. How often do I find that I don't have to file at all, and I get, all the cards, all the stars align, and you get that magical one that just works right out of the box? It's not often. I almost always have to file somewhere on it. But I still think it's the best of its kind on the market right now.
Another thing you can do is
still
also
kick and
try to
try.
bring the metal slower. A lot of people think, oh, I have hot metal. They go, dump.
They pour too fast.
And what happens is you get air pockets, and it doesn't have time for the air to come out. So if you pour a little bit slower, it gives the time for the air to get pushed up and out. And from a higher distance, it drops in with more velocity and pushes the air out as it fills in all the gaps.
You can also gently tap the replicant case as you're doing it. Don't tap too hard because you'll get it spill over the sides and it'll go down into the little the cylinder. It'll go in there. If it does, that's fine. You just let it dry, turn it over, and just bang it out. We also have a little hole in there. You can poke it out with a lockpick if you need to. Okay. Almost like we expected that to happen.
Still Kicking tried the Packlock 90A key first, and that's what he's had difficulty with.
Yeah, I mean, I would say that.
So that's not one of those difficult keys to replicate, is it?
I would say it's doable. It's the keys that have interactive elements. Those are the ones that are like, you can do an Alloy Sentry, but you can't do a Protect 2. You can do a Protect 1.
Just certain things aren't going to be doable. Charles Watt wants to know
keys.
What's that?
I like how you can do alloy keys. That's just got my brain going, I can, this lock, that lock. It's like my brain's going, oh, yes.
Sign McNally Speed Square. Yes, you can. We have a few that are actually signed by McNally and LPL. Those are almost always contest giveaways.
Right.
Or honestly, we do a lot of stuff too, where if we see somebody in the community like being uncharacteristically generous or really going above and beyond, we will Secret Santa people stuff.
Nice.
Yeah. But that stuff, there's a lot of stuff that we do that has to be earned in one way or another. Usually it's through deeds of some sort.
Right.
Yep.
Do you have any pets and or hobbies? Yes. I have a 185-pound Newfoundland
monster.
That's basically like, he's like a Wookiee from Star Wars.
It's a bear.
He's the size of a love seat. He's also the slobberiest creature I've ever owned. It was really weird. I came from I had several working canines, usually Belgian Malinois, and going from that to a Newfoundland has been some whiplash. The reason I got a Newfoundland is because I had kids, and if you want a dog that's like absolutely infinitely patient, get a Newfoundland. They're the sweetest animals you'll ever find. The only thing you have to watch out for is like they're still big, you know. And my daughter's 4, so like sometimes she'll run around a corner and he'll be barreling towards food. You know, he'll knock her into another dimension.
But she's got something she can play with and ride on, and
she rides on that's
so cool. Yeah,
never-ending story. It's funny.
I love that.
I'll have to make that like my profile picture. My daughter riding Griswold is his name.
And I do have to interject and state the fact that I've seen that dog and he's a monster, but I've also seen Robert dealing with that dog all day long and never have a dog hair on his clothes. Not one. Tony, I bet you couldn't even find one.
No dog hair, but a lot of drool.
I don't know how you do it. That dog is so hairy and you never have a dog hair on you.
And like with a Newfoundland, like you get slobber on the ceiling.
When they shake and it goes flying.
Yeah, you have to change all the furniture in your house. Like it has to be leather furniture, because if you have like micro suede furniture, it looks like a giant snail just like did a drive-by.
Yeah.
What about hobbies, you? Let's see. Yeah, what about your hobbies?
Hobbies, we put I like putting small holes in paper from far away. I also like as a matter of fact, basically everybody here is an avid jiu-jitsu competitor.
Nice.
We have a couple guys that are world class. So yeah, it's funny. We get a lot of people like, because we have several principals that have enemies, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna come to your office." Like, this is quite possibly the dumbest office to try to attack. Not only are you gonna get attacked by not one but two working dogs. There's 2 people here that have jiu-jitsu black belts. Like, you're gonna get bit. They're gonna beat the fuck out of you, and that's if they don't shoot you from a mile away. It's the wrong office to come after.
Plus, you got all those speed squares laying around, and McNally standing.
Oh yeah, like, can you imagine that? Like your last moment on Earth, you got a speed square in the back of your head.
What about you, Tony? Pets and hobbies?
No pets. My wife is not a fan of pets. So we have an office dog that has become my adopted pet. It's one of the greatest dogs I've ever. I told my wife if we had a dog, it's got to be like that one. But of course, that was trained by Rob, so I'd have to have him train my dog too.
Which one? Which one?
Envy.
Oh, Envy. Yeah,
Envy's
yeah,
amazing.
Yeah, I was gonna say Griswold is not. You could rent my Newfoundland if you want.
The as far as hobbies go, this might be a surprise, but lockpicking. Like I'm one of those lucky people now as a career in what I love to do as a hobby. And then obviously I do a lot of 3D modeling and 3D printing. That's something I love doing as well. And then, yeah, I mean, shooting is also one of my pastimes. It's probably one of my more expensive pastimes, but it's one of my favorite pastimes. So
what do you do when you get a refusal from a newfie? Get the food treats out.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you just kind of push them along. Actually, they're like big. They're like cows. You know, like we have a system for getting them in the back of my car. I tell him, you know, I'll like just hit my hand on the grill and he'll put his feet up, and then I gotta reach down, grab both of his back legs and lift him up like that. And it was really it was really an awkward experience before he got neutered because he would like teabag my hand. It was gross. But yeah, and like from an exercise perspective, he literally goes around the block once and he's done.
Yeah.
Somebody was asking about what was it, the tequila
challenge fold or something.
So
I think he's referring to the sparrows. It's a lock dial. You know,
the S&G
dial.
No, we're not going to get into that at all. That I think was so kind of. I just sit back and I let my competitors make mistakes. There are some of these things that are obviously mistakes. You know, that was one that we knew was not going to go over well. It's just not something that we're interested in putting out. So like, here's a perfect example of where they kind of missed the mark. You see this product that Sparrows has out? Like, it's meant to hold in your hand, and I guess it's supposed to facilitate practice.
Let's see that again. Put that up again. Which one was that?
Yeah, I think it's called the Sphere.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
I mean, it's nice.
I want to like put it in a sock and kill somebody. It's definitely a good force multiplier. But like for me, the one that we're designing basically will accept a mortise cylinder that will actually lock it, right? But you're going to be able to put a prize in it. Does that make sense?
That's really cool.
So I want to encourage people to not only do challenge locks, but also to put prizes in them. Just like in the same way we put our contest locks out in the wild, right? And we turn it into kind of like a geolocation type challenge and then a picking challenge. We're all about that type of experience. We want to make lockpicking much more mainstream. And we love adding any sort of competitive element that we can. So like,
yeah, that'd be cool. Then the next person that picks it can put something in there for the next person. That's pretty neat. And
like the pick is the proof of concept, right? So you pick it open, and that's the only way that you can get the prize inside. And it could be as simple as like fucking Pez. Who cares? But you can actually put some good stuff in there.
Yeah. Somebody did a challenge lock actually like that. It was in a box, 3D printed, and they printed a box around it, and you had to unlock it to open the box, and people were putting really nice locks in there to forward it to the next person. It was really a nice idea, Yeah.
I mean, we are of the opinion that we try to gamify everything.
Question from David Romano. Any thoughts on dimple picks? You gonna get into them?
Eventually. So the thing is right now we have 8 things that are in the vault right now, but we actually have 14 products right now in incubation. And we only have a limited amount of people here that can advance these projects, and I have to advance them. Unfortunately, I mean, we're a business, right? Like I have to advance them in terms of profitability. So there's just not as big a market with the dimple picks. I ultimately, it is our plan to ultimately put out best in class everything. I will eventually get to dimple picks, but not this coming year.
Is LPL as handsome as he sounds?
That's internal.
G'day, Dark Arts. Lockpicking's just joined the chat. G'day, mate, my fellow
Alpha's
Aussie
here.
lockpicker.
So when LPL walks into the room, I hear in my head, I hear the "I'm Too Sexy" song by Right Said Fred. It just plays wherever he goes. It's fantastic.
Because he has it on his phone playing.
Yeah, he plays it himself.
He definitely has better hair than I do. He's got I don't want to divulge. He's got a full set of hair, and it's got a good look that I wish I had.